Certainly, it got a little dicey for Alireza, but if he had locked the center early, he would have had a nice position. Folks, our first e4 in some 100 minutes of chess, and it is a Sicilian, but it is a Magnus 2026 edition Sicilian. He is playing the Italian game against the Sicilian, something we tell beginners not to do because their bishop gets blocked, there's no fried liver stuff. But when you are 33-30, you can do what you want and you don't have to listen to the YouTubers.
Magnus has been playing this consistently in the last few months. The World Rapid and Blitz, every Sicilian he had, he was playing e4 most of the time. He played this bishop c4 line. So there's no excuse for Alireza not to have expected this. He's had a fast start, brought his bishop out, made a pin, now pushing in the center. He had to have prepared for this line. Magnus has been religiously sticking to it recently.
Fans, let's see some energy in the chat for the that's the in the live audience. Not everything is digital. Feel free to make some noise. Honestly, the players appreciate it. You know, the position's equal. They love the energy. It's a new format for them, but they are not new to this. Let's put it this way. They have been here before. Magnus has said he loves when the crowd gets into it. He loved jeering and making, you know, gestures at the crowd in Riyadh when they were cheering for the opposition. He likes to shush the crowd. If you see Alireza pulling off some wins, get some hype going. If Magnus is doing it, well, I mean, that's what Magnus does all the time. But Alireza here having a nice time with the black pieces.
Exactly. The eval bar is on black side. That's because there's an awkward pressure on white's pawns. Check this out. The white bishop now, the Italian bishop that we were talking about, is hit. Might actually have to start retreating. That is sad, sad news for white. Pressure now on the pawns as well. Awkward pin. You can't break it without losing some time here. Magnus looks uncomfortable. Rook now coming to hit his queen. Everything going in black's favor for now, but still nothing tangible.
Yeah, and 6 out of your 8 pieces should not be on the last rank on the 20th move of the game, unless, of course, you are indeed Magnus. That's kind of like in jiu-jitsu when you just lay on your back, and apparently that's considered a sport. But black is advancing on the queen side. He will chop down at some point. The rook will get in. Maybe you can go for g5 ideas, but it's always very risky to do so. You do open yourself up for a counter-attack.
Yeah, he played g5 a lot against Hikaru with success, Alireza, but it was in more closed central positions. d4 first. That's a strong move. Pawn cannot be captured. The black knight would enter the center, and queen d2. Oh, look at white's piece. It's so clumsy, Levy.
Yeah, this is strange. You would love to take on f3 in a traditional circumstance, and white would have to play g-takes. But there's a freaking bishop on d1. How did that spawn there? That's not normal. It's like you booted up a chess game and there's a glitch. DC was relieving the tension for a second time, by the way. Second time he's done this in 2 games. He likes to plant these concrete outpost types of squares for his pieces, but he opens up the position too much, and maybe there's even bishop f6 ideas.
Yeah, is that a good thing? Yes, it parts with the bishops, but it does double pawns here. Nice to see some very enthusiastic fans there in the back. Knight g3 played.
Yes. Got content creators. We have my wife in the audience as well. Shout out. Love you very much. And thank you. I don't know. I think production is bored. Like, really, I don't know what this is. There are 2 of the best players in the world. Let's keep the cameras on them. But yes, all your fans are lovely. We couldn't read them because they moved them too fast. But it said something about betting your life savings. Please don't do that. All right, not financial advice.
Oh, big moments. g5 was actually the best move in the position just a turn ago. The blue arrow appeared. That would have actually trapped the white bishop for some awkward exchanges for white, but I think that would have been too impractical, especially in a blitz format. Bishop to g6, and Magnus is applying extra pressure on the pinned piece. Blocked. Loads of trades incoming, but once the dust settles, white does have an isolated pawn here. Good news long-term for Alireza, who still has over a minute. He's sped up slightly compared to the first game of the section.
Absolutely. I don't like this weakness on d3. White is just going to rely on counter punches on c5 and f6 and so on. Why is his bishop on d1, right? Like, it's absurd you can have a position that looks like this and not be significantly worse. You would love to trade everything, but definitely you're going to be losing a pawn here. Alireza needs a win. If he tastes blood in this segment, it's going to be totally different than it was last year, frankly 2 years ago. But that's what we're sort of hoping for. Magnus deep in thought.
Yeah, it feels like he's been playing freestyle chess. All these retreats, bishops on d1. It's been awkward, and he doesn't look comfortable at all, Magnus. Slight shake of the head. What's he going to do? I mean, it feels like he just has to exchange stuff off and just accept a pawn down endgame. But he's reluctant. He knows that d3 is dropping. but I think it's dropping anyway. You might as well stomach an endgame where your opponent has doubled pawns, where you can get slightly active, maybe a rook to the 7th rank, go for some pawns a bit later. Big moment. 30 seconds now for Magnus. And the pieces come off.
He spent a lot of time getting here. He's mostly just coming to terms with it. He could have played this in about 1 second. It's just not a decision you make lightly. Shout out to the Norwegian flag.
Oh, he's cold.
Oh, look at that. Wow. Or maybe he was doing the ice-cold celebration, like in sport. I love that. If he wins the game and does that, that would be incredible. But Alireza is he's just much better here, David.
He's got a huge advantage, extra pawn, and it's a very strong one. Passed pawn, knight to d5 looks like it traps the rook. Knight to d5, was that a rook trap?
Yeah, we got Magnus signs, Speed Chess Championship. Let's focus on the game here. We got like 17 seconds on the clock for the world #1.
Yeah, missed opportunity. I think Alireza could have had a decisive advantage. He's still better, but that d-pawn is going to struggle to move forward. He cements his knight at least. He's going to come in with his rook and maybe go for the white a-pawn. How to defend? Can Magnus defend? It's very, very passive for now, but he's still alive. Under 20 seconds.
But this is a great position. The knight jumping into the middle. It's amazing rook c4 doesn't just win on the spot, by the way.
Rook c4, he's going to... Oh, he's maybe going to give a check?
Yes, that's the only... Yeah.
I was thinking knight jumps, but they didn't work. Rook g4 would protect the rook, and the white knight would be free to move. Miracle there. But
Okay,
we'll see it unfold.
He's going for it. Obviously, if you keep trading, you're still winning. Okay, you're not winning. That's what I said, obviously. And clearly Magnus knows this as well.
That is surprising. The white rook on g4 wasn't doing much. It was misplaced. Black's rook was so active. Why trade off an active piece for a passive one? Still better, of course, with the extra pawn, but it's turning. Magnus's king is playing. Black's king is absent here from the fight. Maybe he's surviving this. King c3. The knight's going to try and pick up the d-pawn.
Alireza needs to make sure he doesn't end up losing this endgame. Because he has a lot of pawns advanced, and he could lose them one by one and then go down. Wow, f4! What was that? Rook c5.
Wow, Magnus wants the passed a-pawn. If rooks had come off there, the white knight would have traveled back, and now it's getting that a-pawn. Rook trade. Check first. The king has to move somewhere.
Maybe a... Wow, d2. And now you're going to check and win the pawn, and at least Alireza will be safe here.
Knight e7 check was also possible there, but this is going to be a long grind. Lots of time is going to be eaten off the match clock. 3 versus 2. Must be a draw levy, but only Black can win.
Yeah, and if you're Alireza Firouzja, you almost want to force the game into a draw as fast as possible. That's actually not a completely unreasonable thing to do, because Magnus is winning the match.
Just no breakthrough, no pawn trades, no pass pawns. White's got the perfect formation and draw. Wow, what a cagey start to the 3+1. Really high.